Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Manage the Wild. I'm your host, Nick Madsen. Sorry, I've been away for the last few days. I took a full-time job with the Utah Division of Wildlife in the northern region. I'm a wildlife specialist dealing in depredation, so life is kind of hectic as I get settled in my new role and all the different things I'm doing. But I will try to keep up the consistency. We'll see. Hopefully, my consistency with podcast is better than my fitness routine because that's no consistency. All right, we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about grizzly bear plan that they're doing up in Montana, as well as the gray wolf conservation management plan. But what I wanted to talk about first, it's kind of interesting. I got talking to officer yesterday, and he notified me about this. Here is if you go, so this will be on YouTube if you're listening on the Spotify or whatever platform you're listening to this on. This is the collared wolf activity for Colorado. So they were released in the last month. If you look at the amount of areas, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 counties they've been in. If you look at how many miles they've covered, it's roughly 70 miles by 100 miles, and there's 12 wolves, and they are moving all over Colorado. They have been as low as Vail and as high north as Jackson, or no, that's Walden, almost to the top of the Colorado border, and they are just moving everywhere. And I don't know if they thought they were going to stay in a small location, but these wolves are moving everywhere, covering as much territory, I think, as they possibly can. So they had 12 collared wolves. 10 of those were reintroduced from Oregon. 2 of the wolves were collared in North Park. But that brings us to the grizzly management plan that they are doing up in Montana. They've reopened it up for comments. So they opened it up for comments because they're they're creating a grizzly management plan. They've currently been managing it under ESA, the Endangered Species Act, and they found that it's a little outdated. Why is it outdated? Because animals move. Just like that Colorado wolf dispersion that you're seeing from those wolves, these grizzly bears are growing in population and they are dispersing throughout the state, and they need to update their management plan. They opened it up, got a bunch of comments, and now they have decided to reopen it because I'm assuming there must have been a whole lot of outcry that not a lot of people got enough input in, and so now you have a chance to give your input. The new deadline is March 9th, so make sure you make your comments on how you feel about management and what you want to see the direction. So Montana is creating this grizzly management plan because they want to give not only just the state of Montana the vision of where they want to go, but the federal government a vision of where they see their grizzly bear management. Now, it's currently listed as threatened under the ESA, so the state, the feds, and other interagency groups are working together for the management, but they are trying to give the Montana version of the direction that they want to go with managing grizzly bears. And so if you want to see grizzly bears all over the state, how large a population do you want to see? Where do you not want to see them? Or how much of management and oversight do you want the state to have? This is your chance to give your input. The one thing that I've seen that I've noticed really well is one side is very good at giving their opinion. The other side tends to leave it to, I bought a tag that should give you my ideas of how I feel, but that's not the case. The non-consumptive side has been very good. If you look at wolves, Look at grizzly bears and how they are going about it. They are very good at making sure their side of things is heard. Some of the ag guys are getting more vocal. I think they tried to rely on history too much and say, hey, we shot all the wolves, we shot all the bears. That should tell you exactly how we feel. But that's not necessarily the case anymore either. They're not going to listen to that opinion. And there's not a very loud opinion coming from, because the ag side is getting smaller as more and more land gets developed and the ag is shrinking, and the people who grow our food, their voices are being lost because the one side is very good. But the other side that you don't hear about is hunters. And there's not just one side saying, yes, I want grizzly bears brought in, I want wolves brought in so I can harvest an animal, hunt them just like I would anything else. There's multiple sides. People are saying, I don't want grizzly bears brought in because they're going to kill more deer, they're going to kill more elk, they're going to kill more sheep, or they're going to be difficult to deal with when I'm out in the field. If you harvest an elk in an area that has grizzly bears and you're gutting out that elk and this grizzly bear comes in and charges you to run you off your food and you protect yourself, now you've got the federal issues because you just killed a federally protected animal. And so there's a whole lot of issues. And so I think that the one side, the non-consumptive side, is doing a good job at making sure their voice is heard. But I think the sportsman, instead of just saying, I buy a tag that should tell you how I feel, or I liked a Facebook post that should tell you how I feel, I think they need to be more involved in this management side of things. If not, the way hunting is on a decline. I mean, there's more people hunting, but overall perception of hunting is on a decline. People are not necessarily as involved in wildlife management and animals as they used to from the hunting side of things. So I think hunters need to get together, and whether you're on different sides, that's fine. But I think the groups need to get together and start making sure their voices are heard. If you look at what's going on in Oregon and Washington, the way the political environment is there, and what's happened in California, and then on the East Coast, you're seeing a changing of the ways, so to speak, in how they manage wildlife and the reasons and what they're managing wildlife for. And so some of these voices are getting lost out. Montana's also doing a comment period for their wolf plan. They're changing a little bit how they are counting pairs, and in this wolf plan, and they are looking at the total number of wolves. They need about 450 wolves to ensure that they have 15 breeding pairs. And then they're looking at different ways of doing their population estimates and who's going to be involved in making sure that those models are as correct as they can be. Now's your chance to comment in about that. If you look at the way Colorado happened, I don't think enough of the side who was against Colorado had their voices heard. I think the money came in really strong and heavy, and the two locations within Colorado really set the tone of whether they were bringing wolves in. So if you're concerned about the direction that your state, if you're in Montana, or the way Montana is heading one way or another, go ahead and make your voice heard. This is now your opportunity to do so. Because if you don't vote, if you don't say anything, then you don't get to complain. And we all know that we all like to complain. So if you don't like the way things are going, vote and try to change, make your voice heard. I hear all the time at the RAC meetings, oh, that's garbage. But then the person didn't even go up and give their 2 cents about how they feel. So, all right, you guys, make sure you stay involved in wildlife. Get involved. It's getting more and more political. There's a lot more money involved than there used to be. And things are changing. All right, you guys, have a great day. Stay well.